I am the Church of Almighty God. My blood is wine. Wine is yin. So, you may be familiar with the Chinese religious group that call themselves the Church of Almighty God. They were called Eastern Lightning. In fact, that's one of their names. So it started to form in the late 1980s, okay? So there was a man called, I think, Zhao Weishan, and he was part of some so-called Christian group called the Shouters in about 1987. I was born in 1987, by the way. Me. 1987. Okay. And he, so Zhao Weishan, he met a woman called Yang Xiangbin. And he proclaimed that she was the second coming of Jesus Christ. Now, like I just said, perhaps you're familiar with the symbol. It's called yin and yang. Okay? If you're not familiar with it, I'll explain to you a bit. Okay? So, they say, yin and yang. Well, actually, watch a video. I posted a video to Facebook about what yin and yang is. You can watch that. It's very simple. Okay? I won't explain everything in this video. So, Yang is the name of the woman who claims to be the second coming of Jesus Christ. But in Chinese philosophy, they have this symbol, and it's called yin and yang. Okay? Now, yin is spelled Y-I-N. Okay? So, Y-in. Y-in. It's another way of saying wine. I am Jesus Christ. My blood is wine. You see, when you have a W and an I next to each other, you pronounce it Y. Yeah? So you can replace a Y with W and I. It's the same sound. You get the same word, wine. Yeah? The E at the end, well, it doesn't really matter. It's all about how you pronounce it. It's yin is my blood. I am the Church of Almighty God. The Spirit of Almighty God is in this church, this temple, this body of mine. So, very interesting how I was born in 1987. At the same time, the forming of this religious cult in China sprang up at the same time. What a strange coincidence, huh? And they wrote those books. They wrote books, lots and lots of books. Starting off with, "The Word appears in the flesh." So this is the thing, right? Because, in the book of Revelation, in the scriptures, it talks about the great prostitute, the harlot, the mother of harlots, okay? She's drunk on the blood of the saints, okay? Okay, it said, so it doesn't say what her name is. It says mystery. Okay, so her name is Yang. Okay, and because of the Chinese philosophy, okay, so we're you know what the mark of the beast is. Okay, what is the mark of the beast? Well, if you believe in what yin and yang teaches, then you have received that mark. Okay, does that make sense to you? Okay, because the whole point of yin and yang. So yin, yeah, I'm not. Hang on a second. I mean, yin and yang, it's... Would I say it's the mark of the beast? Yeah, I would. I would say this, it... I mean, that's the thing, one side, I mean, what I'm looking at here says yang is masculine and is associated with white and light. Is that actually how it is, or is it the other way around? Hang on a second. Yeah, so it says, yeah, it doesn't seem very, well, I mean, yeah, so it says yang is positive, male, day, active, sun, logical, hot, hard. That's what it says on here. Yin, negative, female, night, passive, moon, intuitive, cold, soft. Well, the thing is, I am yin and yang because my mom, my dead mom, she's dead now. Okay, she died of cancer. Mentioned this a million times already. Yeah? Her name was Fi, short for Fiona. I am male. I am the son of a bitch called Fi. So how's that for yin and yang, you? Yeah, sorry. What more can I say here? So the whore who's drunk on the she rides the scarlet beast. Well, scarlet is red. Yeah, scarlet is red. So you have red wine, looks like blood. Yeah, so red wine looks red. Okay, blood red, and then there's red dragon. Yeah, and also if you read something, well, it could mean reading a book. You read it in the past. Yeah. So the red dragon thing, yeah. Well, I've been a heavy smoker most of my life, and that's the thing. The religious cult in China. They say the words they use. They say that the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, they call them the Red Dragon, and that the Red Dragon is persecuting them. Yeah? But the truth is that they are following a false leader. She's false. She's not Jesus Christ. I'm a God. I'm Almighty God. This body of mine is the church of Almighty God. It's very interesting to hear the words that they've written in those books, whether written by Yang Xiangbin or anybody else, whoever wrote it, because the words that are used sound very similar to what I would say, actually. Yeah. Yeah, well, you know the word ho, and the word lie, yeah, and you put them together, and what do you get? Ho-lie, yeah? The ho-lie spirit, yeah? Magic words, okay? What more can I say? I mean, I don't want to make this video too long, so... mean, that's the thing, right? Because I've watched a lot of the videos from the Chinese religious cult called the Church of Almighty God, and they are, they're very, there's no distinction between man and woman really. It's they all participate in leading each other. It's very, it's a very balanced. They're trying to balance men and women, so it's there's no favors shown between man or woman, basically. Apart from the fact that they believe that Jesus Christ is a Chinese woman, but which I'm not. But the fact is that that's not how it's supposed to be. Man is supposed to lead, not woman. Woman's supposed to be silent in church. You understand? Yeah? That's how it is. I hear that woman, Yang Xiangbin, apparently she fled to New York back in 2001. What an interesting year to flee to New York, huh? What an interesting year to escape China, huh? New York, of all places, yeah. Apparently she got millions of dollars. Yeah. Drunk on the blood of the saint. Yeah? Saints. Well, that's the thing, real saints, they are part of my being. That's the thing. Those who really love me they're part of my church. The church is my body. My blood is the wine. The fact is that the world keeps having a problem. Man keeps putting woman first. That's what man does, right? That's what the world does. So that religious cult in China that calls themselves the Church of Almighty God, what have they done? What have they done? And how does that connect with their Chinese philosophy? Yin and yang. Maybe you should have a think about